technical analysis. And although a lot of people think, wow, that sounds really difficult to me, again, I'm going to show you a simple way to tackle technical analysis so you can see where a stock's been, where it is right now, and where it might be going in the future. Let's evaluate the stock market environment. Let's look at different ways to evaluate if we're in a bull or a bear market. How do we find out, as busy as we are, where the economic markets are, where the financial markets are today? How do we know? Let's take some vital things into consideration here. Everything in our universe, whether it's the planets, whether it's the seasons, whether it's the tides, whether it's crops, even we ourselves as human beings, everything moves in cycles. The financial markets are mainly dictated by interest rates. And what are interest rates? They sound complicated. Interest rates are merely the cost of money. Interest rates is how much it costs you to borrow a chunk of money for a given time and then pay it back to the person who lent it to you. The cost of money is one of the biggest economic factors there are in moving economic markets. When interest rates go up, it costs more to borrow money, and that impacts a company's bottom line. When interest rates move down, obviously it doesn't cost as much money to borrow money. The stock market generally runs in about 3 to 6 months ahead of the business cycle. There are two cycles, the business cycle and the stock market cycle. The stock market cycle runs about 3 to 6 months ahead of the business cycle. This is where sector rotation comes in. This is where you see oil moving up, airlines moving down, drug companies moving up, maybe basic materials are running up. It's not that hard, and it's kind of easy to do, but it's important when you get into the stock market to focus on the sectors and the industry groups that are in favor in the current market environment right now. And you say, well, Tony, what if I buy in a group that's favorable right now and it isn't in the future? It's okay, because you don't want to get into an industry group or sector that's moving against you right now so that you have to make the money up that you've lost from it moving down in the beginning. We're going to look at sectors and industry groups that target the market, and I'm going to show you how to target leading stocks and leading industry in the current market environment. There are two basic types of analysis, fundamental analysis and technical analysis. We use these two different kinds of analysis and combine the information in order to make a decision as to whether or not we want to invest in a company's stock. When we look at a company's fundamentals, we're looking at such data as price to earnings ratios, earnings per share, market share, what share of the market does this company have, and an overall view, return on equity, return on investment. We also may want to look at such things as what kind of new products does the company have coming through the pipeline, what kinds of new services do they have coming through the pipeline. This is very important to get an overall view of a company's bottom line. The other kind of analysis that's used quite a bit and that's coming more and more into favor is the analysis that traders use. I myself am a trader as well as an investor, and I like to look at a picture very, very quickly, very, very fast, of where a company's or a stock's price has been relative to where it is right now in the current market environment. The price history that you can see on a chart during a given time period gives you a tremendous amount of information, and many times quite a bit of predictive power to see where it may go in the future. This is how we tell where bull and bear markets are. This is how we tell how far a company has been. Maybe it's just starting into an upward momentum pattern. Maybe it's come down in a downtrend, based out, and is starting up now again. It's very important to know, like with anything else in your world, where a stock price has been, where it is now, which gives you predictive value in knowing where it may go in the future. Before you buy a stock, you'll want to evaluate your target company's fundamental data. These resources will tell you which ones are strong right now, which ones are weak, That in turn leads you to look at the stocks or the components within these industry groups, and the rankings will help you evaluate which stocks you want to get into right now that have future growth ahead. It sounds like a complicated thing to do, but I'm going to show you some ways to make it easy. I'm going to show you some resources you can go to in order to evaluate a company's data quickly and easily. You know, when we go to Macy's to buy a red blouse, if we only have a certain amount of time, it's not